Hello book friends, what's up? How's it going? I hope you guys are doing well. It is a crappy fall day here. I don't have good lighting. My phone died. But let me tell you, the book that we're going to talk about today is worth all the strife that I have gone through trying to set up the video because it's one of my favorite authors and her co-author, and it's the third book in the series, and nothing is going to get in my way of talking about it. But I want to ask, how are you guys doing? What have you been reading lately? I would love to hear in the comments below. I always love to get your guys' recommendations. My filming schedule, I just talk to you guys about the books that I read, but I would love to hear about the books that you guys read so I can add them to my TBR as well. While you're here, I would love for you to hit subscribe and then give the video a thumbs up if you like it. When you do that, it really does help my channel, and that helps the authors whose books I talk about, so it's a win-win. So let's get to the book. The book we're going to talk about today is Need to Have You by Alexandra Silva and Sophie Blue. It is the third book in the Sweet Vine series. I've done videos on the previous two books. Love them. I read Alexandra. I actually beta read for her. And so it's so nice to see all of her writing flavors, so to speak. The Sweet Vine series is like it says, it's a bit sweeter. Sophie writes a little lighter love stories. Alexandra can get down and like dirty and dark with her Virtue and Lies series. She does really well with romantic suspense and darker, and I love that part to her writing. And then being balanced with the way that Sophie writes, it's really kind of a breath of fresh air. You don't escape the drama. There's definitely still that part that sucks you in with both of them, and I think they complement each other so much. I'm a little uncomfortable. I don't usually wear V-necks, and so I just feel a little off. It's like the universe is getting in my way today, but we are going to ignore it. Anyway, I wanted to share before we talk about the book. Oops. My glasses just fell. This is the first book in the series. Now, when you look it up on Amazon, it is going to be a completely different cover. But what I love is that they did regular covers with couples on the front, and then they also did illustrated covers. Oh my gosh, look how cute this book is. It's just like, oh, and have you read it? Do you remember that? But I just love that they did two different covers, and I think it really lends to the whimsy of this first one, which is a holiday novel. And I just really enjoyed that. And so I wanted to show you that as well. I don't know if they're going to do an illustrated cover this time around. Let's be surprised. So Love to Jingle You was about Amelia and Adam. And then Love to Hate You was about Kate and Sebastian. Is that right, Kate? Right? I think so. Or was it Cat? Oh, why can I not remember right now? Anyway, Need to Have You is about Summer and Parker. We can draw lines between all of these characters. Knowing where we are, it just feels like coming home because you know the characters so much better when it's like the third book in. So in any case, I have been waiting for Parker's story because we met Parker previously, obviously, and he's a single dad. We know that it's been rough. He has custody. Well, yes, let's just say he has custody of his son, Easton. Love the name. And the book starts, like it just kind of kicks you in the gut because Parker's ex, she wasn't really an ex at the time, but deals with addiction. And Parker gets home, he gets a frantic call and he goes home and the wheels have fallen off the bus. And as a mom, I can't imagine, even though this is a book and I get it, I can't imagine being so sick in your addiction that you would leave your child who's like a year old at the time in that kind of situation. So that was really a gut punch for me. And it showed a lot about Parker and where his mindset was. And my heart really hurt for him. So, and Easton. And, you don't really want to like Heather because it's horrible. And that goes, that's a whole other ball of wax. But when the book starts, it's heavy. So he gets custody and Heather is out of the picture. And he is balancing dad life. He has a toddler. He his family is very wealthy. They own hotels. He lives in one of his hotels, the hotel he runs. He's good. He's got a good support system with his friends, with Sebastian, Harrison, Kate, like they all help out. And this is where he meets Summer, and Summer comes into his life. Summer is a bit younger. She works at the hotel as a bartender, and then she's also putting herself through design school. I enjoyed Summer so very much. She was like me. How she felt about certain things. She has her own hang-ups as far as where she's coming from in life. She had a tenuous relationship with her mom. Her parents are divorced. So, she has these abandonment issues. She has these, I don't want to be a shitty mom like my mom was. She brings her own cards to the table, and yet she naturally has a friendship with Parker. They're naturally drawn together, and she's a nurturing spirit, and that just comes out of her. So she's like good with Easton and recognizes that Parker's doing it all on his own, is willing to help out, and she's drawn to them in their little family unit. And it was just like, I was a smitten kitten. I adored it. There's a little thing that happens with one of the employees, a fellow employee at the hotel, and Summer comes back to the hotel, and like I said, Parker lives there with Easton, and so she goes up to the penthouse where he lives to kind of report back in about how that employee is doing, because they had to leave work and go to the hospital. And so he's like, well, come on in and have a drink. And she's like, okay. And you can tell they like each other. It's obvious to everyone around them, but they're both treading very lightly. And this is what Parker says about her. And it just showed how he saw her and really saw her and how she affected him. Wandering over to my side, she pauses by the couch to put her purse down and take off her sandals. I don't miss the way she adjusts Easton's blanket so that it covers his exposed arm from the evening chill. Everything about her is soft and kind. That big heart of hers isn't something she hides away, and I like that far more than I should. And that's Summer. Almost everything that I highlighted is from Parker's point of view. I didn't highlight a lot of Summer, and I think that's because I connected with her so easily, and she felt very familiar to me, and I liked her, and similar, that it was the swoony Parker moments that just like get my engine going about the whole single dad trope. This was like the first taste, and I was like, oh yes, it's because you like her, Parker. They have great chemistry, but they both say to their friends, it's complicated, that each other is complicated. I liked the tension that brought. I wondered how long it was going to be like that for, because it interested me to see how Parker was going to bring Summer into his and Easton's lives. At one point, Summer's talking to her friend. I don't know if she was talking to Alice or who she was talking to, and she says, he's the epitome of complicated. He's got a son, he's got a crazy ex, he's her boss. Like, hello. And I was like, girl, those are just things to get in your way. The path is definitely lit right towards him though. Summer goes out for a girls' night with her friends, actually back to the hotel, to the bar. So it's like she wasn't working, but she went back with her friends because there's a live band playing and her friends wanted to see the band. And I have to say, I love in books when the characters go out for the night and they go to a club and there's dancing. It's like a beacon for me. And because you know, shit's gonna go down. You know something is going to happen. You know that the guy is gonna go all crazy possessive alpha. And you know that the girl is gonna be dancing sexy with somebody else or her friends and trying to get his attention. I freaking love the club parts. And here was the club part. So I was like, okay, great. How's this gonna go? I just freaking love that because you know it's gonna go down, and it went down. This is from Parker. What the F is wrong with all these assholes hitting on her? And why is he using my kid to flirt with my staff? So the first part, he's talking about Summer, and in the second sentence, he's talking about Harrison. Harrison was a bit of the comedic relief because he's actually working. So he's watching her out on the dance floor and everything. He almost gives himself a little bit of permission while he's watching her. Like I said, I swooned over Parker the whole freaking time. So Harrison's there, like I mentioned, and he's sitting at the bar and he's having a conversation with Parker. Harrison says this to Parker, and it was almost like that it was okay that he liked her, that it was okay to take a step forward with her, that he could trust his feelings and trust how she was going to be with his son, and that it was okay. And Harrison was trying to help him come to that realization. This is what he says. Summer isn't random, and she's the only woman I've seen hold your interest in a long time. Forget what everyone else says and wants. Do something for you, not for the business or your son. It won't make you selfish or a terrible father. Oh, my heart. He needed to hear that from his best friend. And then a little bit later, Summer is always on my mind. I wasn't expecting her to come tonight. I wasn't prepared for the sight of her in my bar, in that dress, with that look in her eyes, the flush in her cheeks, and all that gorgeous hair tousled and messy and begging to be tangled around my fingers. The same way I hadn't anticipated her to walk into my office the day she turned up for her interview. A big smile lighting her eyes was something that made me pause. My world was in complete chaos, but her calm was so catchy that I didn't even have to look at her resume twice to hire her. I knew then, the first second I laid eyes on her, that she was incredible, and there hasn't been a day since where I've regretted my decision or thought otherwise, because Harrison is right. I am one lucky bastard where she is concerned. It was really funny at the end of that whole kind of like bar club scene. Alice says something that I have never heard before, and it made me burst out laughing. She's talking about her and Summer, and she's talking to Harrison and Parker. And she says, so we're gonna make like a baby and head out of here. I had never heard that before. I burst out laughing. It was so funny. I don't know why I got such a kick out of it, but like it made my night. I had to giggle, and I still think about it. And then when I sat down to film the video and I went through my highlights, I still burst out laughing. The book goes on, and they're, I'm not giving you a spoiler by telling you they're trying to like, have a relationship. And there's this one part that just, again, I burst out laughing because they wrote it so well, and you could picture it, and I've been in this situation. So Summer takes Easton to the mall with Kate. I think so, Kate and her baby. Why can't I remember her and Sebastian's baby's name? Anyway, So they're hanging out for the day, and they come across like basically a pet store. And Parker meets her there, dying. It's from Parker's perspective. Oh, F. I want doggy, he rambles incoherently as tears fill his eyes. Puppy daddy? I'm sorry, Summer mouths as the store assistant comes over and picks up the puppy that Easton is oogling through the glass. This is Dext, she tells him gingerly as she puts the large pup on the floor between us. Believe it or not, he's the baby of the litter. Really? Both Summer and I ask at the same time. There's always one that's bigger than the rest, and they're the last ones to leave us. A lot of the time we give them away to Guide Dog Society because everyone wants the tiny ones. Wait, nobody takes them home? Summer asks with a crestfallen expression that has my insides squeezing with the need to bring her smile back. At the same time, Easton throws himself at the dog and hugs it tight. Mine, Daddy. F. I'm a lost cause when it comes to the two of them. I mean, right? If you are a parent and you come across puppies or kittens, forget it. Like, it's gonna happen. You can't help it. There's plenty of drama in this book, but there's also a lot of really sweet, tender moments that balance that out just wonderfully. Let me tell you, Alex and Sophie bring the steam. They bring the steam. Parker and Summer have chemistry. So there is definitely a spicy factor to the book as well. It was great. I really liked it, and I'm loving this series, and I'm anxious to see. I think there's going to be another book, and I'm anxious to see who that's going to be about. Let me know if you have read any of Alexandra Silva's other books, if you've read any of these Sweet Vine books, or Sophie Blue's books. I would love to hear. Don't forget to come over to my social media and say hello to me over there. It's Kat Reads Romance on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.